Welcome to Oh My Golly with Morgan. I'm so excited. Thank you for tuning in. If you're wondering, is that tarot bitch? The answer is yes. Yes, it is. It is me. I don't worry, this podcast has nothing to do with spirituality or anything. Will I offer you my guidance here and there? Yes, of course. But it's not that type of podcast. I kind of just want to go over pop culture stuff, talk about stories that I have, things going on, and just kind of give my opinion on some things. I don't know. I feel like I have the gift of gab, so I might as well use it to my advantage and record a podcast. I've tried to do a couple podcasts in the past, but I just don't think. Well, one of them I did with a friend, and that just didn't turn out really well. So I'm hoping this one that I'm doing solo, and I might have guests here and there on, I think it'll just be a little bit better for me. So anyways, I kind of just want to jump into headlines. And I will say I've been creating a list of headlines for the last week and a half of things I want to talk about. So some of these aren't as relevant anymore, but I still kind of want to talk about them, say my opinion, and then we can move on. But yes, I will say that I was at a coffee shop with a girlfriend, and it was so good. It's called it's called Brew Coffee, Beer and Wine, I think. It's in right outside of Charleston, so it's in Hanahan area, if you're familiar. So if you're ever in Charleston, or near there, or Somerville area, check them out. They're very, very good. So anyways, the first thing on my list, I have a handy dandy list of things I want to talk about, because I feel normally I just get so scatterbrained. I'll be talking about something, I'll be squirrel, and then I'll talk about something else. So this time I'm going to actually be organized. Proud of myself. Okay, the first thing on my list is the Grace and Brianna chicken fry drama. I know that this has kind of come to an end already, but what I want to say, I just feel in this situation, Brianna, however you say it, just really couldn't shut up about her and Grace. And I know that recently on the new episode of BFF, she said that basically Dave made her talk about it, but Dave didn't make you respond to those DMs, or post certain things on your stories or whatever. Or even if he makes you talk about it, he's not, unless he wrote you a script and we just didn't know about it, he's not forcing you to say certain things. So I think she just has a problem with, and I don't know, this is just my opinion, but I think that she just has a problem with knowing what to say, what the right thing is to say, and when to say it. Now, do I think Grace is innocent in all of this? No, I don't. I think that it was a calculated move, whether she ever wants to admit it or not. I think it was very calculated for her to use the same wording that Brianna had just used previously when she was talking about the Zach breakup, when she said she was blindsided. Now, I think that Grace did it on purpose, and I don't think she'll ever admit it, but I think it was, okay? And I'm not saying Grace is a bad person for that. I feel she was probably hurt with Brianna posting that about bringing back playing Bree in some capacity, and she was probably hurt, and she made that post, and she used those words, and she probably felt that afterwards. I think we've all been there where we said something and we then think about it later on and we're crap, we probably shouldn't have let our emotions get the best of us. We've all been there, but I will say one thing that Grace is really good at is, even after that, she didn't continue to double down, right? She didn't continue to talk about it or badmouth Brianna chicken fry, and everything I've seen where Grace is chatting about the situation, she's been very respectful. So I think that is the difference I don't know if Grace has a PR team, or maybe she just has like more of like a media knowledge than Brie does, but I do feel like Grace handled it a little bit more gracefully in the media. And also I just think that right now Brie, people just don't like her. So I think that if she had done everything with the Brie and Grace situation the exact same way, but people actually really loved her, and she didn't just go through that whole kind of like a lot of issues where people are cutting up things that she's saying, and she's like being really problematic. I feel like if that wasn't the case, people probably would have seen this situation a lot differently, but that's not the case. And here's the thing, I'm saying this and I'm saying this in the sense where I would love to work at Barstool, but I think that Brie's boring. Like, I don't know why people like her. Every time I watched her on BFFs, I absolutely hated when she spoke. And I don't know her, so I'm not gonna say I hate her or dislike her. I dislike the persona she puts online. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. We don't know her. We don't know her in real life. Like, I don't know what her actual personality is. We only know what she shows online, but what I see her as online is, if she's not being boring, she's being hypocritical. And she's not being hypocritical, she's being just mean and rude. So I don't know. I don't know much about her other than what she puts online. And I will say, I feel like we got to see a little bit more of her personality in the new BFFs. Maybe she was holding back a little bit more because Dave was on the other one, and maybe she was afraid that like if she said something out of the box, like Dave would jump down her throat or maybe embarrass her. And it's not that, like, I think he respects Brie, and I think he likes Brie as a person, but that doesn't mean that he wouldn't call her out if she said something like crazy, right? Or weird. So I feel like she probably edited herself a lot when she was on BFFs with Dave. So I will say, and this is all speculation, this is all just my own opinion from like being a viewer and watching, but I do feel like when I just watched this first episode of BFFs, the new one, she was a little bit more lively. She wasn't as boring. Now, I love Josh. Absolutely love Josh. I love him and Gabby together. I think they're so cute. They are in game. I think, personally, I feel like their energy just matches really well. So I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to keep watching BFFs. I love Dave Portnoy. Honestly, I love how blunt he is. Not everyone can handle it. They just can't. But I do like him. Now, one thing about the new BFFs that I don't like is the new logo. I don't know why they changed it. Like, of course they had to take Dave's name off, but like the colors, I don't know, something about it is just really like weird to me. I don't like it. Do not like it. Now, do I think views are gonna go down now that Dave left? Yes. I think a lot of people watched it because they like Dave's one-liners, of course. And right now, Brie's not the most loved person on the internet. You know, she was gaining a lot of traction, a lot of support with her and Zach's breakup. But now I think that's over with, and people are just kind of like looking at her, like what she's gonna say next, so like we can be mad at her over. I personally feel like her and Josh probably should have taken like maybe a month or two break before coming out with a new episode to kind of like let something else happen with someone else to kind of take the heat off of her. But here we are. We have Dave still talking about Grace, them still talking about Grace. It's just like, leave Grace alone. Like, I don't know Grace. And to be honest, if I'm being completely honest, if they've been friends for 15 years, Grace is probably a lot more similar to breathe than we think. The only difference is that Grace knows when to shut up and not say shit. You know what I mean? When she whether she has actual media training or not, I don't know, but maybe she's just smart in these type of situations, whereas Bree's not. So yeah. But just keep in mind, like, they've been friends for 15 years. There's a reason why they're friends. They probably have a lot of similarities. And again, we only see these people's personas that they put online. Like, we don't actually know them. Even though we like to think we do, we don't know them at all. At all. Okay, anyways. I will say one last thing about that. Grace is getting her own podcast on the Unwell Network, so I'm interested to kind of see what her, like, what she's gonna do, like what she's gonna talk about, what is gonna be kind of like the topics and her guests and stuff. It'll be interesting. Because right now I feel like, you know, she was just on Bree's show, so it'll be interesting to see what she does on her own. So I'll be watching for that. I hope she does well, honestly. Okay. I guess one last thing. Do I think that they're gonna be friends again in the future? Yes, I do. So, okay, let's see. Nikki, is it Glazer? I think. She did actually really well at the Golden Globes hosting. I love watching her roast. I think she's so funny. So yeah, she did good. I have nothing to say about that. I will say I enjoy more so watching like the red carpets and stuff before the actual awards. So I didn't watch a lot of the awards. I watched the red carpet, and then I watched her opening monologue, and then that was it. I kind of fast forwarded because I don't know. Alrighty, what else? Okay, Selena Gomez engagement. Very happy for her. Do I think her and Benny Blanco are in game? No, I don't. Not to talk spirituality or anything, but I do feel like her and Justin Bieber are twin flames. Now, one thing about twin flames is that it doesn't mean that they're meant to be together necessarily in this lifetime. You meet and you're supposed to do the healing, the work, go through that journey together and find your way back. But if one or both of you refuse to heal, grow, or learn the lessons, then it's not going to come back together. Now, I do feel like Haley and Benny are both soulmates to each of them, and that's why they found each other. That's why they're together. That's why they have a connection. But do I feel like Selena and Justin will find their way back together in the future? Yes, I do. It won't be right away. It might be 5-10 years from now, but they will. But in the meantime, you know, it's about the journey. So if her and Benny are happy, if him and Haley are happy, then hey, who are we? Who are we to say otherwise, right? Speaking of engagements, Nina Dobrev and Shaun White got engaged as well. Very happy for them. This is another one where I feel like they're soulmates, yes, but I do feel like her divine counterpart, her twin flame, was Ian Somerhalder from Vampire Diaries as well. You can see it, I think, even now when they talk about each other, when they're brought up around each other, you can just see and feel the energy. Will they find themselves back together again in the future? I don't know. I more so see Selena and Justin getting back together more before I see Ian and Nina, but anything could happen, you know? We've seen it before. We'll see it again. Crazier things have happened. So, but again, in this moment in time, they're happy with their families, their significant others at this time. So who are we, right? Who are we to step in and say, like, everyone's on their own journey of self-love and healing and growth. That's their own journey, right? Okay, so let's see. I think I talked about all that. Okay, one thing I do want to talk about is Southern Charm, the new season of it. So it's really interesting now watching it because I live in Charleston. So I actually moved. One of the reasons I moved here was because I watched Southern Charm and I'm like obsessed. I was like, I want to go visit Charleston. I came here, I visited, and I fell in love. And I was like, I have to move here. So I made it happen. I moved here. I do have a story about meeting Austin and what's his name? Whitney? Yeah. So how do I say this? Okay, so I had just moved here, right? And I loved the show, obviously, but I also had worked at Warner Brothers in California. I lived in California for a while, worked at Warner Brothers. So am I used to seeing celebrities? Yes. Do I care if you're a celebrity? No. No. I have so much LA lore that I can dive into at some point on this podcast. But yeah, so I'm prefacing the story with that, okay? And really, are they celebrities? I mean, they are, but like, it's not like it's Justin Bieber. You know what I mean? Like, I relax. So anyways, so I had just moved here and I met this girl on Bumble BFF, which I actually do recommend. Of course, be safe always, but I do recommend using that when you move to a new city and you're trying to meet people. So I ended up meeting this girl on that and she was really cool. We ended up meeting up for drinks and we were just, we had talked a few days before. She was really sweet. So if you've ever been in downtown Charleston, it's really easy to bar hop. So we left one bar and we were walking to another, and this guy was outside of Hall's Chop House. So if you're from Charleston, it's a really nice steakhouse, and a lot of people have heard of it, but there's like a restaurant part, and then you can kind of go through the back and there's like a more of a bar area. So anyway, so we were walking by there, no intention of going in, but there was this man standing outside. He obviously was a little intoxicated, but it was a Saturday night. Okay, duh. So he said, hey ladies, do you want to come in and join our table, free drinks, whatever. Having lived in LA, this is normal, right? You're walking by anywhere and people are like, oh, you want to come join the table? We have bottles, whatever. So in my mind, saying yes to something like that, wasn't unheard of. I don't know, I was sure. And so as we were walking in, he was like, oh, we have some people from the show Southern Charm at the table. I didn't really think anything of it. Again, would I want to meet them? Sure. Yeah, who wouldn't? But at the same time, it's was I going to be gushing all over you? No, not at all. So we walk in and immediately we walk up to the table. And so it was Austin, Whitney, and I think there was another guy here. I don't know who the guy was, and a girl. So obviously, since this guy was outside asking people to come join the table, you would think that the people at the table knew that he was doing that. No clue, right? I understand. So anyways, we walk up to the table and immediately before, they don't even say hi to us. Austin doesn't even say hi, doesn't even smile, nothing. He goes, no. Excuse me? Rude. And so me, because I felt awkward, because I'm first off, I don't know what the fuck you think I'm doing up here, but it's not I'm trying to join your dinner. First off, we didn't know who it was. We didn't know until we had already said yes, we'll come in. First off, I'm never gonna turn down a free motherfucking drink. Not in Charleston at least, because hella expensive. Plus Hall's was on my list of places I wanted to go to anyways. So okay, 2 birds, 1 stone. So I walk in, after that, and when he says no, I felt awkward because I'm first off, bro, it's not you're Craig. Anyways, just kidding, but not really. So then I was hey, I'm Morgan. So I just shake all their hands because I felt so awkward for him saying no. He wouldn't even look at us. No. And the friend that brought us over there was like, oh, come on, like, they're nice. And Austin's like, no, like, wouldn't even look at us, or like, and it's not, and like, we even like felt awkward because it's like, we don't want to, they're eating dinner or whatever, having drinks there, sitting at the table, and like, we didn't want to interrupt. Like, we didn't really know what we were walking into. I assumed we were going to the back with the bar, but we weren't, so it was very awkward. And come to find out later on, the girl that I was like hanging out with that night, I guess like her and Austin kind of knew each other, and like he had asked her on a date at one point. I don't know if they went on a date or if she said no or whatever, but I don't know if that's why he was acting that way, but he was really douchey, and Whitney too. So I don't know, it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. I'm like, bro, like, are you okay? And even the thing is, like, I'm not a huge fan of him. Like, I'm a fan of the show, of course, but he always just seemed kind of like weird and douchey. But if I was a fan, that's really how you're treating your fans? The people that like make it so you can actually eat at halls? Are you joking? You're kidding. You're joking. Anyways, Craig would never. But yeah, so that was just like that. I was like, ugh, gross. Ugh. Like, you're weird. You're a weirdo. Anyways, okay, speaking of Southern Charm, initial thoughts on the first couple episodes. I feel like Shep has grown a lot since season 1. I will say that. Also, I feel like, does anyone else get this feeling that he is becoming a better person? Like, it seems like he's like trying to grow up, trying to become a better person, you know, trying to say, oh, I want to marry this person, maybe have children with this person, because he's trying to prove to like Taylor, like prove something to Taylor. Like, that's like the vibe I'm getting. Or he's like, it's almost like, I don't know how to explain it without sounding psycho, but it's almost like it's like a haha. Like, I, you know, wasn't gonna settle down or get married to you, but haha, I'm gonna do it with this person type of thing. Like, now that she's moved on. I don't know. I just kind of get that vibe. I don't know. I really don't know how to explain it other than like, I just feel like he has different motives. I do like all the side characters this season so far that they've introduced, because they're all kind of intertwined in their own way. Now, I do feel like Shep's girlfriend, currently on the show, I just don't think that she likes him like that. She could like him, but that doesn't mean like they're meant to be, you know what I mean? Like, I just feel like she has other motives, but we'll leave that there. So kind of going off of that, I really am excited for Summer House to air. That's gonna be really fun. Now, one thing that's really difficult is that obviously Paige and Craig just broke up. I'm very sad. I'm sad. I thought they were great together. I love Paige. Obsessed with Paige. Like, obsessed. I feel like she did a lot for him, like, as far as like, well, they did a lot for each other as far as like, I feel like he taught her how to like love and feel and be sympathetic, empathetic, and I feel like she helped him kind of grow up and establish and just be a little bit more in his masculine energy, which is great. I was very sad to hear about their breakup, but I get it. You know, I feel like anyone who's watched either shows knows that she's been kind of saying this for a while now. I think that when you know you want to be with someone or know you want to marry someone, something as trivial as location, like, isn't gonna make you stop being with that person. I think we've all seen it coming. I think as much as we wanted them to be engaged, I think that we saw this coming. And I was thinking about this the other day, like, we've all been there, right? Where we have a guy that's in front of us who is perfect on paper, right? So like, maybe we've been in a bunch of toxic relationships up to this point, and then we meet this nice guy who pretty much has it all together. Yes, he has some flaws here and there, but he's just a nice guy, loyal, sweet, kind. Everything's perfect. But then for some reason, you don't picture him at the end of the aisle. And it's one of those things where it's like, why don't I see you at the end of the aisle? Like, you are perfect. Like, I should want to marry you. I should want to move to Charleston for you. I should want to do this for you. But there's something that's not clicking. It's something that's not there, not right. And a lot of times, and I'm guilty of this too, where we stay in the relationship for a lot longer because it's like we're almost trying to like force ourselves to get there. Like, okay, maybe if I put another year in this, I'll feel it. Like I'll see him at the end of the aisle. I'll see him as the father of my children. I'll see him as my partner for life. And then that year comes and goes and you're in that same space, like, I don't see it. And he's perfect and I don't want to hurt him. I don't want to leave, but I have to do what's best for me and my future, and my long term. Like, I feel like we've all been there. And I think that's what happened. Of course, I don't want to speak for them, but I feel like he was so good. But just because someone's good doesn't mean they're like the right fit for you. So yeah, I don't know. I feel really bad for them. Could they find each other again in the future? Maybe, but I don't think they're the people for each other. I feel like they would have known that by now. Like 3 years into something, like, you know if you're gonna marry that person or not. Could they have made the New York and Charleston thing work? Yeah, of course. I think I think for one, they're on different filming schedules. So even if they live like New York 6 months, Charleston 6 months, like, it definitely could have worked. But they didn't want to. And yeah, we have to respect that, right? Now, I have seen some people talking about like, well, what about Naomi? Like, well, could her and Craig get back together? And I kind of do see that, actually. I don't know if she's dating anyone. I scrolled on her Instagram a little bit, but there wasn't anyone posted since like a couple years ago. So I don't know. I feel like it's definitely possible, to be honest. I don't know if he would go back to her just because she really didn't believe in him when he needed it the most, whereas Paige did. But you know, in the past few years, she might have grown and learned and stuff as well. So yeah. What else on here? Okay, so another thing, I meant to mention this earlier when I was talking about Nina and Ian, but if anyone has gone and visited Covington, Georgia and seen where Vampire Diaries was filmed, like, please let me know if it's worth it, because I really want to go. Really, really want to go. Also, I will say when I say we, I say my boyfriend and I, we tried Brothers Bond bourbon recently because we've been watching Vampire Diaries, and so we wanted to try it because that's their brand of bourbon, and it's actually really good. I'm not a big bourbon person, but it went down really smooth. 10 out of 10, I recommend it. Okay, so I have on here to talk about Victoria Fuller and Will Levis breakup. I don't really know much about them. I did see that kind of circulating. I will say that I really liked Victoria Fuller on the Bachelor franchise. I think she's just absolutely stunning. Like, something about her, I'm like, you're gorgeous. Like, she's one of those people that if she walked into a room, I'd be like, you're gorgeous. But when her and, what was his name? I can't remember his name. Greg? Yeah, her and Greg. I just feel like their auras didn't match each other. Does anyone else get that vibe? Like, she definitely gives off the energy that she's gonna end up with like a pro athlete. She's just like a pro athlete type of person. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It just is. Same thing with, like, I think Sydney. She ended up dating that guy from the 49ers, or marrying that guy from the 49ers. Like, she gave off that same type of, like, she's supposed to be with like a professional athlete type of aura. So when Victoria and Greg were together, I feel like they were really cute, but they weren't in game. Like, I'd be like, they're gonna end. Like, she just, her aura gives something different. So when her and Will Levis were together, I was like, that makes a lot of sense. But I think that they broke up recently, maybe. I'm starting to think that maybe she's the problem. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Who knows? These men out here are also just wild and out. But anyways, so I do feel like she'll probably find herself another athlete. I don't know if it'll be a football player, but it'll definitely be like some sort of sports person. Yeah. So that was pretty much all I wanted to talk about on this first episode. I just wanted to kind of keep it light and go over some pop culture stuff that has been happening. I do want to end it though, because I know that a lot of times we don't know what new shows to watch, and I'm gonna give you some shows that you should watch if you haven't already. Okay, so I'm an anxious girly and I rewatch shows. Okay, even after I've been taking Lexapro, I still watch shows like I've already seen. So these are some of my favorite ones that I always rewatch when I'm needing something to watch and I don't want to start one. Vampire Diaries, of course, always. Okay, I could watch that. I think I've seen it 4 times through, all the way. And then my boyfriend and I are watching it together. One Tree Hill, Gilmore Girls, Desperate Housewives. And I'm not talking about Real Housewives, no, I'm talking about Desperate Housewives. It was an ABC show. It was a full series, drama series. I think you can watch it on Hulu, all the seasons. So good. If you've never seen it, go watch it. Gossip Girl, another good one. That one I can only rewatch like every 4 years. Like, I don't know. It's not like something that I rewatch often, but I do enjoy it. There are some episodes I just skip through though, because I'm like when Jenny is acting like a psycho, like I just, okay, let me skip over those. How I Met Your Mother, great show. Friends, great show. Buffy the Vampire Slayer is another really good one. Absolutely love it. The Nanny, chef's kiss. Dawson's Creek and Lost is another one I always rewatch. Now, anyone who says that they don't watch Lost because they've heard the ending and it's spoiled. First off, the people that spoil the ending don't even know what the fuck they're talking about, because they have totally taken the ending and misconstrued all of it. So don't listen to them. Make your own judgment, okay? Now these are shows that I recently started watching. I finished them, but they're so good. And these, I haven't rewatched them yet because they're new. I watched them this year, but Smallville, okay? Obsessed, okay? I can't even get into that right now. On another episode I will. I love Smallville. Degrassi, I boycotted that show for years. I don't know why. I truly don't know why. I loved it. And Felicity, I just finished that. Actually love it. Obsessed with it. I really like not old-timey shows, but I like late 90s, early 2000s shows. Yes, the camera quality is not that good, but who the fuck cares? Who the fuck cares? It's so good. Watch it. And then right now I'm watching Saving Hope, which is a Canadian show. And it's really good. It's kind of like Grey's Anatomy meets Ghost Whisperer. So if you're a Grey's Anatomy girly or boy who loves that show, the way it's set up, everything, definitely check out Saving Hope. It's really good. It's on Hulu. That's where I've been watching it. So I think every week I'm just gonna give some TV recommendations, because literally sometimes I'm just what the fuck do I watch? And so I have a whole list, so if you need help. But anyways, thanks for joining me on my first episode of Oh My Golly. I have a lot more stories to tell, a lot of lore, been through a lot of shit, okay, in my life. So let's we'll dive into that, okay? If you have any questions or any situations that you want advice on, feel free to email me or drop a comment and I will answer it on the next episode. So anyways, thanks so much, okay? We're gonna call y'all, anyone that's watching this, we're gonna call you my Golly Pops, okay?